Good evening, everyone. Steve Guard for the Assessors meeting this month. And with me is Todd Glowak. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be on Zoom for a little bit here while we do our public portion of the meeting. I will call the meeting to order.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And let's see. The first thing on the agenda is typically to approve the minutes from the last meeting. So motion to approve the Board of Assessors minutes from the March 23rd, 2022 meeting.
And I'll second that.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Steve, aye. Todd was an aye. There we go. Now we go to our walk-in. We see no walk-ins or anyone on the Zoom that would like to speak to us or have any kind of public comments. We encourage you to raise the hand on the Zoom function. All right, seeing none. And I think as far as the public, Joe, do you have an update you want to give us?
Yeah, we just, I'm looking for the board to discuss and hopefully approve the Verizon agreement that went out a few months ago. This is, the Verizon agreement is really an agreement between the state, the Department of Revenue, and Verizon on the methodology and how to calculate their utility value throughout the entire 351 communities. There is enough majority of value that has approved this contract already. So they are going to use this methodology that's outlined both in the IGR, the informational piece that the DOR sent out, as well as the agreement. It's a continuation of a 5-year agreement that expires fiscal 22. So they're looking for another 5 years from 23 forward. It's the same replacement cost, new less depreciation. Verizon's taxed on underground wires, conduit, equipment, and things like that. And briefly, the DOR felt that the value statewide would go up a little bit based on the little tweaks that they did to the methodology. I mean, there is, in my opinion, no reason not to sign this agreement or approve this agreement as a board. If the board does not sign the agreement, the only negative is if the value was ever challenged in court, the burden of proof will be on the town as opposed to traditionally being on the taxpayer, Verizon.
So the way I understand it is that if this has already been approved by DOR and there's been sufficient a number of towns that have signed on to the agreement to allow it to stand in the state. If we don't sign on the agreement, then the burden of proof shifts in a battle over the valuation of their infrastructure in the town of Scituate to us, as opposed to if we sign the agreement, then it's up to Verizon to prove to us that our valuation is inaccurate.
Right.
Okay. So Todd, you grab that. What is it about that? So that's a 2.6, call it $2.6.5 million valuation of their infrastructure in our town.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Right. That's what it is currently. And then they'll use the new information from the former lists to value it for next year and for the next 5 years.
Well, I think, given my job description and burden of proof always being, it's always better to have it on someone else. So I hope we sign the agreement and move on.
Yeah, I would second that.
Okay.
We're right in line with Cohasset and some of the other towns too, so I think the valuation is probably pretty spot on.
And it worked
So I'll
for the
make
past
that a
5
motion.
years.
Yeah, I'll make that a motion and second by Mr. Glowak. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Steve, aye. Motion carries. There we go. Okay.
Efficient of you.
Seeing no other folks that are here on the Zoom call or in person, I think we will close the public portion of the meeting. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. And if you do have any comments or questions in the meantime, between now and our next meeting, please feel free to come into the office and approach one of our staff. Very helpful, and they're able to answer your questions, I'm sure, quickly. So thank you very much and good night.